Alright, Shalom. First off, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Double honor to our apostles, elders of the great millstone, who rule well and who taught us this truth, and a sincere peace and salutation to all the Akim that's pushing this word and truth and the sincerity. It's the brothers from the DC camp, it's brother Kanan.
I'm Brother Shamuala.
And we coming back at you with another video. Lord's will, this is just brief. You know, we just wanted to touch on the topic. It just hit me in the spirit. Pretty much of how you're supposed to conduct as a man of the Lord and His truth. You know, when you're young, you got to know how to be a follower. And when you get a little older, you got to know how to also be a follower and a leader. You know, because it's now time for you to lead, and brothers is looking up to you, and older brothers is looking for you to guide these brothers. You know, as they still guiding the whole congregation. You know, so you got to know what it is, what are you supposed to do in these times of being a brother. Because in these roles, you're going to have to make quick decisions, quick thoughts, quick judgments. You know, you got to do to the best of your ability to be a man of the Lord. We're just going to run through the certain ways of proving how you're supposed to be according to the scriptures. You know, because the scriptures give you specific guidelines of how you're supposed to be. And remember that the scriptures are manifold. So when we go to a scripture, don't be carnal and be like, no, it was talking about this. Come on, man. The scriptures is manifold. You got to know the scriptures. You know, you got something to say?
Yeah, no, just to add on to, you know, just to land back what the brother is saying. Well, I never forget what the apostle said. Like, what's going on now is 144,000 leaders that's being raised up.
Exactly.
And I never forget what the brother said, Brother Pashai. You know, in order to be, you know, a good leader is a great follower, okay? Yeah. So, you know, following and, you know, of course, Shemaiah, which is, to, you know, to listen, okay? Yeah. And obey and, you know, to hear what your elder is saying. It's the right thing to do. That's what we're supposed to do, man. Okay? And that goes in, yeah,
Proverbs 22.
22 and, where we at?
6.
Yeah, it's Proverbs 22 and 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Right. So, you know, like for us, you know, we right there like middle of the pack in terms of we all babes, don't get me wrong, but you know, we were once troops and just came in. You know. Now we got into just a stage above a troop, which being the captain of 10,000, 5,000, or whatever the case may be. You know. So now we are in that point of where we was trained up as a child in the way that we should go, and we're not going to depart from it. You know, which is why you see problems with these upstarts, you know, that don't want to come in up under order. You know, the scriptures say you're going to have to be guided. You know, how can he know lest he have a teacher? You know, so we've been trained up in the way that we should go. And Lord's will, it don't depart from us. That's why we humbly, you know, reference back to Psalms 51st chapter, you know, of begging the Lord not to take our spirit away. But that's another subject. You know, the point is, when you get to a point in time, when you get of age, you are supposed to train up a younger brother, you know?
Quick precept. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and 33. It says, for the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches and the saints. So, you know, like the brother was saying, there's order. Likewise, you listening to your elder brother, you're able to pass down that knowledge to the man that's coming up right behind you, so to speak. Okay? And that's what the order is all about. Okay? As the Lord just says, he's not the author of confusion. What does confusion mean? Calm meaning with, confused meaning together. Okay? Which brings disorder, which brings chaos. Okay? But when you coming up, you know, a certain type of way, you know how to conduct, so you're able to pass that knowledge down to your brother, you know, which is a beautiful thing, man. You know, you know, we all conducting.
Passing the knowledge.
And exactly.
There's no greater love than passing the knowledge. Can you read Proverbs again?
It's Proverbs 22 and 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Right. So the way you train up a child is by correction, man. You're supposed to correct that child, and then you're going to see pretty much the type of parent you have been. pretty much. You know, because your son gonna rather do what? He's gonna rather get Proverbs 9 and 8 real quick. You know, it's a couple things that your son's gonna do. You know, he's gonna be a spoiled brat about it, or he gonna respect you for that correction. You know, because he see the good and what it's gonna be, and that's the same thing as a brother, man. Go ahead.
Proverbs 9.
You gotta speak up a little bit.
Proverbs 9 and verse 8, it says, "Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee."
Yeah, man. A wise man is going to see the bigger picture. You remember when the dude was cussing out King David, and then the gods was like, "Man, who the fuck do you think you are? You talking to the king?" You know, but King David knew where it was coming from, man, because he was wise. You know, and that's how we gotta be. You know, that's how our younger brothers gotta be, and that's how we still, even where I'm at, you still gotta be. You know, you still gotta be that way. You still gotta know how to be a follower and know that we learning every single day, man. You know, it's the way you gotta be. You know, so correction gonna come, and sometimes it may seem harsh, but you gonna have to take that shit. You know, especially because the scriptures say that you're supposed to know them that labor among you. You know, you're supposed to know your brothers, man. If you believe in Yahweh Shema Shah, and you believe that he direct your steps, and that man's going is of the Lord, how can he then understand his own way? You know, if you believe you sincere and that Yahweh Shah is real, you're going to believe that the men that's around you is to guide you the right way. You know, so no matter how that correction come, can you read that again?
Proverbs 9 and 8, it says, "Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee.
Mm-hmm.
Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee."
What are you? Are you a scorner or are you a wise man? You know, and your reaction to your correction is going to define who you are, man.
Right.
You know, especially if you know where it's coming from, man. Get Proverbs 22, and I think it's 6. No, it's 13 and 24.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24, it says, "He that spareth his rod hateth his son."
Right, when you see something that's going wrong, you know, give Romans.
Respect. I got it.
211. Yeah. Read Proverbs again.
This is Proverbs chapter 13. Salakia.
13 and 24.
13 and 24. Salakia. It says, "He that spareth his rod hateth his son."
Right. He that spareth his rod hateth his son. Keep going.
"But he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes."
Right. You, as an older brother, when you become a leader, you are supposed to be more seasoned enough to see the big picture. You know, so you understand the importance of something that may seem petty, and you got cast judgment immediately. You know, now it's for him to understand why you did that, but you gotta do what you're supposed to do because you know it's right. It's right for the body and it's right for that brother. He was going off, and if I allow him to continue to go off, that can cost him his salvation. You know, so I'm going to immediately crack down on that. And if he don't feel you, is he a scorner or is he a wise man? The Most High is raising up wise men. You know, you gotta understand. You gotta understand how to judge in this thing, man. And the scriptures tell you how. You see something wrong, you say something. You know, because if you spare the rod, that means you don't love your son. And you gotta look at it in the sense of you don't love your brother, man. Go to what I tell you get.
I was still here.
Get Romans.
Romans. This is Romans chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "For there is no respect of persons with the Most High."
Right. So the Most High don't have no respect of persons. So that's another trait of what you're supposed to do. You can't have any respect of persons, man. You know, you can't see something wrong and know something wrong and not say it because you're cool with that brother. you know, and that's another trait of how it is to be a leader, man. You know, and you learn how to be a leader from your leaders, meaning you got to learn how to be a follower. You know, and there's specific rules and ways you're supposed to be as a follower, and specific rules and ways you're supposed to be when you're a leader. You know, and you got to know how to do both if you're gonna make it in this thing. You got precept?
Yeah, Colin, just real quick. This is 2 Timothy chapter 4, and verse 2. It says, "Preach the word, be instant in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine."
There you got reprove, you got rebuke. You know, these is of characteristics that you're supposed to be, man. You're supposed to be instant in season, out of season. You're supposed to be doing this work no matter the time of day, you know, the time of season, you know. And you're gonna be out there reproving and rebuking, man. You know. Get Sirach 30:1. Yeah, you know. So this is just just another way that we try and help the body, man. You know, make things plain, man. Making things plain among tables. Go ahead.
This is Sirach chapter 30, verse 1. It says, "He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, says that he may have joy of him in the end."
Right, so that he may have joy of him in the end. Things ain't always going to be fine and dandy, you know, when you going through those growing stages, when you see, you know, the shedding off of the old man, you know. You got to remember that, man. So you're going to have to spare the rod, but then you got to understand what? The Most High is balanced. You know, you can't always be, I'm jumping down brother's throat because it's the right thing to do. He need to hit, you know, you're supposed to have wisdom. You know, not everything is for every brother. And that goes into being a leader as well. You know, keep on.
It says that he may have joy of him in the end. It says, "He that chasteneth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance."
Right, because that's still the whole point, is that we want to have joy in that person that we're trying to gain, that person that we're trying to help build up, man. You know, and that person we're trying to help build up, we don't want to see them out and about, man. You don't want to be no tyrant. You know, just you know, you got the rank or whatever the case may be, so I'm doing it just because I can. Nah, you gotta move, you gotta tread lightly, man. You know, you gotta tread lightly and understand that there's a flip side to this thing, man. You want that brother to be great. You don't want to see that brother go down, man. You know, and then who are you, man? You never know who you are. You get, matter of fact, bro, I'll keep telling you get stuff. I got it. This is real quick. This is Sirach 3:18. It says, "The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Most High." You know, the greater you are, I don't care if you just went from fucking 20 to 19 in terms of ranking. You know, the greater you are, the more humble you shall be, man. You know, so when you get to a certain stage, there's a certain way you're supposed to conduct. Being understanding that someone just had mercy on you. You know, so you can't get too proud. And of course, you're going to correct something sternly, but then you got to take that mote out of your eye.
Well,
you know?
Where can I get it? Because I'm sitting here holding it. This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. It says, "Judge not that ye be not judged, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again."
Right, and that shows the hypocrisy of America. I'm just going to segue into that just real quick because, you actually got people that we accustomed to seeing, judges, making judgments on people's lives of stuff that they're breaking themselves. You know, so you can't be like the hypocrite, man. Knowing you wrong, and then you want to be quick to jump down somebody's throat when you wrong.
Right.
You know? So you supposed to judge that ye be not judged. You only judging on situations that you are clear of, that you aren't committed. You know?
So verse 3 it says, "And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in your own eye?"
Right, you the one committing it too. And you fast to jump down a brother's throat. Keep going.
It says, "Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thy own eye?
Mm-hmm.
Thou hypocrite.
Thou hypocrite.
First cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye."
So the point we saying right now is, if you gonna be in a certain position, you gotta be an example.
Right.
You know, you can't be out there acting like you this, that, and the third, or setting many of corrections, and you not putting in the work that you're supposed to be doing. You know, so you gotta know how to tread lightly in this thing, man. Hey, we all fall short, man. We all fall short. You know, the greater you are, the more humble you should be. You know, what you was getting?
I was looking for scripture number. What you had?
Get up, Matthew's 18 and 3, I think.
This is Matthew chapter 18, verse
6.
3. Is you said 6?
Is it?
It's right here. It says, "But who shall
Yeah.
offend?"
6.
6 is this is Matthew chapter 18, verse 6. It says, "But who shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me? It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he would drown in the depth of the sea."
Can you read it again?
This is Matthew chapter
Read
18.
up. Read up a little bit.
I'll start at 3. It says, and said, "Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children,
Right.
ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven."
Right. Except you be converted and come as one as a baby, pretty much. So say a man believed and came up as a baby, man, washing out everything that he knew and came up brand new, fresh in this thing, man. Only believing in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, making it hard for him to even commit fornication, you know, on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. You know, we in all sincerity said, "Fuck that world," and we came up freely up under Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. But yet we ain't really meeting the standards that is up there, you know. But we still sincere, you know. You as an older brother, you need to do your due diligence in order to be casting judgment on these brothers. You know, you gotta know. You gotta know who you dealing with, because that brother might be sincere. You know, that brother might be sincere, man. You know. Say something real quick.
Now, I'll just continue. It says, "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as a little child, says the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven." It says, "And who shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea."
Can you read that last part again?
It says, "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me."
Which believeth in me. Because that's the biggest thing, man. That's what we're asked to do, man. Not even asked, we're being told to believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And if you don't, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. You know, that's it. You know, and if a brother sincerely and is wholeheartedly trying to fight this flesh and try and get up out of this bitch and believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and he's here, you need to learn how to judge this man. If you're going to be somebody you call yourself judging somebody, you know, you got to tread lightly, man. You know, or you heard the repercussions of that. I got a precept. This is Hebrews 13:1. It says, "Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." You know, you don't know who a brother is, man. You don't know, man. So if he seems sincere, that's what you judging him off of. Of course, sometimes you going to give him stern correction. And that's on him to understand how to deal with that, you know. you know? And that's the whole point, man. That's the whole point of this video. I don't know if you got closing statements. Or
Not
scripture.
kind. Just I'm gonna finish this out. It says,
Mhm.
but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Like, you know, like he was going into, man, that being offended, which you going to offend means to stumble. Okay, when you causing your brother to stumble, is when, you know, it can be in, you know, situations where, you know, you cast the wrong judgment, or you come about, you know, or you judge a situation in the wrong type of way, and, you know, you cause your brother to stumble upon that, or whatever the case may be. And the Lord is telling you, you know, I'll read it again. It says, but who shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, okay, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he would drown in the depth of the sea. Because overall, the judgment for making that man stumble, you know, it's a real harsh judgment. So that's why you got to kind of tread, you know, lightly when
Right.
when you dishing out the judgment, because it's when, like you said, the scripture that you just brought out, you know, to entertain the angels unaware, you never know who you're dealing with, you know. And that's why the scripture says honor the brotherhood, you know, and you got to conduct a certain way, you know, with brothers, even if you're, you know, higher than another brother. You know, another brother coming in right behind you, you know, you still conduct. That's your brother. You know what I'm saying? You know, the rank, the order is to keep order. It's exactly, the Lord is not the author of confusion. Okay, he got things set up the way he wanted it to set up. He got men doing things he want them to do, and you respect that and you honor that. Okay, and you roll with the punches, man. Okay, but you know, in order to not offend your brothers and not to get that judgment, you know, is to, you know, like I said, to tread lightly at the end of the day.
And follow the scriptures.
Con.
Hear unto wisdom.
That's
You know,
right.
because it's here for you, man. You know, the things that was written full time was what? It was written for our learning.
Right.
You know, and this is for us to learn, man, so that we don't depart from it. You know, so Lord's will, brothers, was edified and built up in the spirit. You know, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakudash. Double honor to our apostles and elders up in Great Millstone who rule well. And sincere peace and citation to all the sincere brothers out there. You know, that's pushing this work of truth and the sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.